Hi, I'm Mrs. Nelson, the testing coordinator here, and you 8th graders are going to take the PSAT 8-9 today, okay? I'm going to read the directions for our entire campus. Your classroom teachers that you're with right now also have a copy of the directions, okay? So we are going to do our best to stay with my directions, and I'm going to give you guys breaks and stuff to do what the directions ask you to do. But if you have any questions, make sure and raise your hand, and the teacher in your classroom can come around and help you, okay? Remember, this is a timed test, so things like bathroom breaks and stuff like that go against your time, all right? So you want to get all that stuff taken care of before a section starts. If you have any questions, make sure and ask the people that you're with. Okay, let's get started. Welcome to the PSAT 8-9 administration. Testing will begin in a few minutes. First, listen carefully to the regulations and instructions that I must read. For today's test, you may only use a number 2 pencil to mark your answer sheet. Raise your hand if you do not have one. You may not use a mechanical pencil. You have to just use the number 2 pencils. The only device or aid that you may use is an acceptable calculator to answer math questions that allow calculator use. We are providing this calculator for you. You may not share a calculator with another student at any time during the test administration or during breaks. Each math question can be answered without a calculator. The calculators that we provided are the 4-function calculators, and you'll see those, and those are the ones that everyone at Terra Vista is using. You can be dismissed from the test, and your scores can be canceled if you use prohibited materials, share calculators, disobey test instructions, or misbehave during testing or breaks. The following behavior is not permitted: giving or receiving help of any kind, looking through the test booklet before the start of the test, working on the wrong section or referring to a previous section or a future section, marking answers after time is called, sharing test questions with anyone during or after the test, attempting to remove test materials from the test room, using any unauthorized testing aid, including phones, during testing or on breaks, attempting to take the test for someone else. You may also be dismissed for eating or drinking during the test, causing a disturbance of any kind, failing to follow test instructions, and leaving the building during test or breaks. Do you have any questions? Please listen carefully to the following information about phones and other electronic equipment. The use of phones and other electronic devices at any time is prohibited. At this time, if you still have a phone, a watch alarm, a handheld computer, or any other type of electrical device in your possession, you need to completely power it off and turn it into the test monitor until it is time to leave the room. Any electronic device that is not turned off and put away may be confiscated and its contents inspected as part of a thorough Now, we're ready to prepare the test. Remove everything from your desk except for your pencils. Remove any earplugs which may not be worn during testing, any highlighters, rulers, dictionaries, other books, pens, colored pencils, or papers of any kind, including scratch paper. These are all prohibited. Close all bags and backpacks and put them under your desk until the test is over. I am going to give each of you your answer documents in a test booklet. Please double check to make sure your name appears on the answer sheet. Do not open your test booklet. When you get your test booklet, read the back cover. It has important information about the test and marking answers. Do not open your test book. Print your name and other requested information clearly on the back of your test book. Use your legal name, not nicknames. For instance, if your name is Catherine, don't write Cat, write Catherine. Okay? Your answer documents have been pre-coded. Do not bubble in your information. Look at the answer document and make sure your name is correct and your date of birth is correct. Do not bubble any information. Okay, you will not need to fill in boxes 1 through 6. Okay, so when we look at your answer document right here, this is box 1. Leave it blank. That should all be taken care of on your pre-code label. This page right here is answers 2 through 6. Do not fill in anything on this page. Okay, all of this information is taken care of. So on question 7, we are going to bubble everything on 8th grade and before. We are not going to bubble anything on 9th grade, 10th grade and after, or under none. Okay? All you're going to bubble is the stuff under 8th grade and before. All right. So the first one says pre-algebra. Everyone is going to bubble pre-algebra under 8th grade and before. All right? If you are in Mrs. Fagan's algebra class, you will also bubble the bubble under Algebra 1. If you have Miss Tomlinson, Mr. Fair, or Miss Fagan's pre-algebra class, do not bubble that. So everyone's going to bubble pre-algebra because if you're an algebra student, you've had that in 7th grade. It was incorporated in. And then the 8th graders in Miss Fagan's class are going to bubble algebra as well. Okay? Okay, now we're going to move on to the ELAR section, which is English Language Arts. Okay, every single person is going to bubble English Language Arts under 8th grade and before, okay? Everyone's going to bubble English Language Arts. Then, if you are in Mrs. King's ESL class, not her Spanish class, but her ESL class, or you were in Mrs. Garcia's ESL class last year, you also bubble English as a second language, okay? So once again, everyone bubbles English Language Arts under 8th grade and before. And then if you are in Mrs. King's ESL class, not her Spanish class, but her ESL class, or you were in Mrs. Garcia's ESL class last year, you bubble English as a second language as well. Okay? Okay, then under the science section, we are all going to bubble other science courses under 8th grade and before. Okay? Everyone's going to bubble other science courses. Do not worry about the other parts of the course. We're all going to bubble other science courses under 8th grade and before. And the same thing for social studies. We are all going to bubble other social studies courses under 8th grade and before. Okay? So everyone should have a bubble under pre-algebra. Everyone should have a bubble at English Language Arts. Everyone should have a bubble for other science courses. Everyone should have a bubble for other social studies courses. If you're in Miss Fagan's Algebra 1 class, you should also have a bubble for Algebra 1. And if you're in Miss King's ESL class, you should also have a bubble for English as a second language. Okay? If you have questions about this, raise your hand. Also, your teachers can help you with this after the test is over, so we can move on and come back to that section if you need to. Okay? So, put your pencils down when you're finished. Look at your teacher if you have questions. We can fix this after testing is complete. Okay, so that was page 3. Now we're going to turn to page 4 of your answer document. Page 4 looks like this. Okay? We are going to bubble box 8 on this page, which is the one right here. This says, cumulative school average for all academic subjects. Mark only 1. Okay, it does not matter if this is correct. Just do your best guess. If you're mostly a mid-B student, just bubble the box, the circle next to B. If you are mostly a high C student, mark that. If it's hard for you to know, just do your best guess. This does not determine anything on the test, so just do your best guess on this, okay? Once again, if you get stuck on this part, your teacher can come around and help you between sections, but just do your very best guess on number 8, okay? Then we have number 9. Number 9 and 10 help ensure that tests are fair for all students and to conduct research. Responses to the language questions in 10A and 10B will be used for research only and will not be included on scores. Please fill in the appropriate circles for yourself. So on number 9, it says, please answer both questions about Hispanic origin and race. You're going to mark 9A, are you of Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin? Okay. If the answer is no, mark no. If it is yes, mark which origin. Okay, 9B, it says, what is your race? Just do your best guess there. If you have multiple races, just pick one. Okay, so just mark one race on that section. Number 10, the language background. What language did you learn to speak first? English, English and another language at the same time, or another language? Okay, just mark what you remember. And then number 10, what language do you know best? English only, English and another language about the same, or another language. Okay, then number 11, mark all that apply. I have a parent or guardian who is on active duty in the military. I have a parent who is a National Guard of the Reserves. Neither of my parents or guardians have current military connections. Okay, so after number 11, just mark what applies. All right, we're going to turn to page 5. Now, you're going to leave number 12 through number 16 blank. Okay, 12 through 16 blank. Your date of birth is on the front. All of these things are taken care of. Do not mark anything on 12 through 16. Number 17 is the school. All of you bubble yes. You are taking a test at the school you regularly attend. All of you are Terra Vista students, and this is where you're testing, okay? So don't worry about marking anything else or the school code. All you bubble is yes, okay? We are not going to mess with 18 or 19, okay? So now we're done with all of this except for the yes right there, and then we're moving over to 20, 21, and 22. Okay, here we go. Looking at the back of your test booklet, copy the form code into box 20 and the test ID into box 21 on page of your answer sheet. Print the numbers in the appropriate boxes and fill in the corresponding circles exactly as they appear on the back of your book. Now turn to the front cover of your test booklet and copy the test book serial number shown in the lower right-hand corner of the front cover into box 22. You're going to fill in the corresponding circles. It is very important that you fill all of these items out correctly. Errors may lead to delay in your scores. Are there any questions? Okay, we're going to take a 5-minute break and make sure we get all of these bubbled correctly. Okay, if you have questions, ask the teacher that you're in the room with. Okay, now for the last section is the date and sign on final test day. All students must complete the next portion of the answer sheet. At the bottom of page 5, please find the area labeled date and sign on final test day. Read the statements at the top and bottom of this area, and then fill out in today's test date, which is October 26th, 2016, and sign your full name as you would on an official document. Under your signature, you're going to print your name. By signing, you are agreeing to the following conditions. You will not, under any circumstance, take the test questions from the testing room, give them to anyone, or discuss them with anyone through any means, including, but not limited to, email, text, messages, or the internet. Okay? So you're going to fill in the date right here. You're going to sign your name and print your name. Okay, during the test, keep your answer sheet and test booklet flat on your desk. If you find a defect with either, raise your hand at that time, and your test monitor will walk around the room to check your progress. We will also keep the official time for the test. Remember, after the test has ended, no one may leave the room until we announce dismissal. If you have any questions about the testing procedures, please ask them now. We cannot answer questions once the timed section of the test has begun. Section 1, this is the reading test. Do not open your test booklet until I tell you to do so. You will have 55 minutes to work on Section 1 of the reading test. During the test, keep your answer sheet and test book flat on your desk. Make sure you use a number 2 pencil. It is very important that you fill in the entire circle darkly and completely. If you change your response, erase it as completely as possible. It is very important that you follow these instructions when filling out your answer sheet. If you finish before time is called, you may not turn to any other section. Now, turn in your answer sheet to page 6. Be sure to mark your answers in the correctly numbered spaces in Section 1. Open your test booklet to Section 1, read the directions, and begin work.